Angel and company lost that game badly. So the question becomes, how often is she going to deflect blame after a tough loss onto racist comments? But here's the issue facing Angel Reese. After bad losses, she sometimes publicly plays the victim.
First things first, let's hear what Angel Reese has to say. Let's hear Angel Reese. And if you guys pay attention, listen to her voice and listen to how she's on the edge of breaking down. Very funny.
Hate speech.
Yeah, obviously there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA.
Let's also watch the nervous body language, the nervous twitching. Yeah.
Our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great.
What if the biggest rivalry in the WNBA isn't real? What if the intense, headline-grabbing feud between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is nothing more than a carefully constructed drama, created by one player to stay in the spotlight? This isn't just a story about two athletes. This is about how one player's alleged hoax has exposed a shocking truth. The WNBA is so terrified of its own players that it's willing to sacrifice its golden goose, Caitlin Clark, to keep the peace. The league is actively choosing to let its biggest star get bullied on the court, and it's all because of a manufactured controversy and a deep-seated jealousy that's rotting the league from the inside out.
What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that, and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond as they need to.
Were you able to?
Damn, I really wish Angel Reese would talk and step up about all of her fans calling people all these nasty names. Oh, how being silent is such a blessing. Such a blessing it is to be silent and have nobody being critical of you.
It all started with an accusation that could have rocked the league to its core. On May 17th, after the Chicago Sky suffered a devastating 93-58 blowout loss to the Indiana Fever, Angel Reese came forward with a serious claim. She alleged that she was being subjected to vicious racist harassment from fans, particularly those supporting Caitlin Clark. In a press conference, with her voice on the verge of breaking, she painted a picture of a hostile environment, suggesting she was a constant target of abuse. The timing, however, was incredibly suspicious. These explosive allegations didn't come after a win or on a random day. They came immediately after one of the most embarrassing losses in her team's history, a game where Caitlin Clark notched a triple-double, while Reese was a non-factor. It looked less like a genuine cry for help and more like a desperate attempt to change the narrative.
Headline: WNBA unable to verify, quote, hateful fan comments, unquote, toward Angel Reese. Okay. Here's the league statement that was issued. We have investigated the report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17, 2025 Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game. Based on information gathered to date, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio and video review of the game, we have not substantiated it. The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. Boom.
But the official story from the league would paint a very different and far more damning picture. The WNBA, taking the claims seriously, launched a full and thorough investigation. They reviewed extensive audio and video from the game, and they interviewed fans, arena staff, and team personnel. Their findings were a bombshell. In an official statement, the league announced that they have not substantiated Reese's report of hateful fan comments. This wasn't a subtle statement. This was the league after a complete review, essentially saying that her story didn't hold up. The evidence just wasn't there. The controversy Reese had ignited was now looking like a fire she started herself, and the league's findings were the bucket of water that put it out, leaving her narrative in ashes.
I believe the league conducted an extremely thorough investigation of this alleged incident. The players in this league are 60+% Black. And the WNBA is and should be extremely committed to protecting its players from racist comments made to players in the arena during games. But here's the issue facing Angel Reese. After bad losses, she sometimes publicly plays the victim. Did a white fan actually yell something out of bounds at Angel after she and Caitlyn got into it? She jumped up, as she was in the right to, and tried to go at Caitlyn and was restrained by her teammates. I don't know if anything was said. I have no way. I just have to go by what the WNBA said, which was, were racist remarks intended for Angel that night on social media? I'm sure some were. They're always going to be there. But should any of those kind of remarks be used as excuses or blame deflection after bad losses, especially to Caitlyn Clark? Look, I'm obviously white. Maybe I just don't get it, but after a while, you say to yourself, come on, Angel, not every single time.
And that's when sports analyst Skip Bayless stepped into the ring, and his breakdown of the situation was absolutely surgical. Bayless didn't deny that Reese might see racist comments online. He acknowledged that social media is a cesspool, but he questioned the timing and motivation behind her very specific claims about that May 17th game. Why, he asked, would you make these allegations right after getting demolished by 35 points? Bayless identified a troubling pattern. After bad losses, particularly to Caitlyn Clark, Reese tends to play the victim. He argued that she uses claims of harassment as a shield to deflect from her own poor performance on the court. His message was clear and direct. Stop using online trolls as an excuse for getting outplayed. The world saw a basketball game where one team was dominant and the other was defeated. Reese, it seemed, wanted the world to see a racial incident instead.
That game on Saturday was live on national TV on CBS. The New York Liberty are, of course, the defending champs of the WNBA. But the main reason that game did a massive TV rating wasn't Breanna Stewart or Sabrina Ionescu. The main reason, obviously, is by far the biggest draw in the WNBA. The reason just about every Fever road game is moved to that city's NBA arena. That reason, that player, is obviously Caitlyn Clark. The Indiana Fever, in the loudest, most intimidating arena in the league, got screwed 3 times, not 2, 3 times in the final 12 seconds of a very close game, and obviously got robbed at home, in that home. Fever coach Stephanie White, after the game, called the no call on Bonner egregious. It was. And the foul call on Lexi Hull, disrespectful. It was more than disrespectful. Yet neither White nor Caitlin Clark addressed the no call on Caitlin's final shot attempt, probably because
This incident, however, pulled the curtain back on a much larger and more disturbing issue within the WNBA. The league isn't just dealing with a player creating drama, it's actively betraying its biggest star. Skip Bayless argued that the WNBA is terrified of a full-blown player revolt against Caitlin Clark. You can see it in the officiating. Clark, who single-handedly transformed the league's viewership and revenue, is not getting the protection a superstar deserves. In a critical late-game sequence against the New York Liberty, 3 consecutive calls went against the Fever. Clark was tackled on a game-tying shot attempt. No call. A questionable foul was called on her teammate. These weren't 50-50 plays. They were egregious misses that would never happen to another star player. The message from the league to its referees is clear. Let them be physical with Clark. Don't protect your cash cow because you're too scared of what the other players might say.
the Liberty at Fever game came down to 3 very late calls, all of which went against Caitlin's team, the home team, in the loudest and most intimidating arena. The Pacers got those calls, not the Fever. So help me out here. 12 seconds left. Caitlin Clark made a sensational bounce pass through heavy traffic in the lane. Just a wizard pass to Duana Bonner, who appeared to get tackled as she shot. Not block shot, just tackled, just rammed. No call. What? Then on the other end, Lexi Hull of the Fever did a very nice job of just staying right with Sabrina as she drove to her left, did not appear to make any significant contact at all with Sabrina, with body or hand. Foul on Lexi Hull with 2.2 seconds left. What? What foul? The Fever did have a challenge left. I immediately tweeted, challenge! But the Fever, I didn't know at the moment, had no timeouts left to use that challenge. No challenge. And Sabrina, who had just missed 2 free throws, stepped to the line and made both of these. New York up 2. Way to go, Sabrina.
The root of this cowardly approach is an ugly, green-eyed monster. Pure, unadulterated jealousy. For years, the WNBA struggled for mainstream attention. Veteran players have been grinding, playing in half-empty arenas for modest paychecks. Then, a rookie comes in and instantly becomes a global phenomenon. Clark's games sell out NBA arenas. Her TV ratings shatter records. She is making everyone in the league more money than they have ever seen before. But instead of gratitude, there is resentment. Bayless described the attitude from many veteran players as, "What are we, chopped liver?" They can't stand that a rookie who is quiet and professional is getting all the credit. This bitterness has festered and turned into a quiet, private rebellion where players complain to their coaches and executives that Clark is getting too much attention. This locker room jealousy isn't just talk. It translates directly into on-court aggression. The Chicago Sky, led by Angel Reese, have become the primary enforcers of this resentment. When they play against the Indiana Fever, it's not just basketball, it's personal. Their players go after Clark with a level of physicality that crosses the line from competitive to predatory. It looks less like defense and more like a deliberate attempt to intimidate and injure. This isn't just standard tough play. It's a targeted campaign. Reese's open animosity toward Clark has set the tone, creating a team culture where it's acceptable, even encouraged, to go after Clark with cheap shots and bully tactics. They are trying to neutralize the player they simply cannot outplay.
Now, 2.2 left. Inbounds to Caitlin Clark, who drove hard left on Natasha Cloud, who was all over Caitlin Clark as she went up into her shooting motion just before the buzzer. It sure appeared that Natasha Cloud body fouled Caitlin, rammed her, then hacked her across the wrist, then hit her arm as she attempted to get the shot up. No call. Loose ball. Turnover. Game over. What? No call? You'd better believe that all of the established stars in this WNBA, as well as lots of veteran starters on every other team, constantly, quietly, privately complain to their coaches and to their team executives about Caitlin Clark getting way too much attention and way too much credit for the exploding TV ratings.
But this strategy of targeted aggression and manufactured drama has backfired in the most spectacular way imaginable. Instead of breaking Caitlin Clark or diminishing her star power, it has only made her more beloved. Fans see a generational talent who remains composed, professional, and graceful while enduring constant physical abuse and off-court nonsense. She has become the ultimate sympathetic hero. In stark contrast, Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky have cemented their role as the villains of the WNBA. Their tactics are seen as petty, jealous, and unsportsmanlike. They wanted to create a rivalry, but they ended up creating a classic story of good versus evil, and they cast themselves in the wrong role. The public isn't stupid. They can see who is playing basketball and who is playing games. In the end, this entire saga is no longer just about a rivalry. It's a battle for the very soul and credibility of the WNBA. On one side stands Caitlin Clark, a player who elevates the game with her revolutionary talent and quiet professionalism. She is the future, the money, and the hope of the league. On the other side is the drama, the manufactured controversies, and the bitter resentment embodied by Angel Reese's actions. Reese set out to create a rivalry to put herself on Clark's level, but all she did was expose the league's weakness and her own insecurities. While she was busy creating fake controversies, Clark was busy rewriting the record books. The 2025 season is now set for an explosive showdown, but the winner has already been decided in the court of public opinion. Angel Reese wanted to be Clark's rival, but she only ended up being a footnote in the story of Clark's unstoppable rise to greatness.
The attitude I sense from so many other older WNBA players seems to be, what are we, chopped liver? It's not just her driving these ratings. What have we been doing all these years? Sorry, ladies, but compared to her drawing power, you are chopped liver. You're just going to have to accept that she and she alone is driving the ratings way above what all of you together were able to generate before she first set foot on a WNBA stage. Now, Caitlin did have a rookie foil figure opposite her in Angel Reese. And man, Caitlin versus Angel in this year's opener set the all-time WNBA ratings record, but as cool and charismatic as Angel is, as dominant as she is on social media as opposed to Caitlin, the truth is that Angel can't begin to match Caitlin's basketball drawing power when Angel's forte is just rebounding. Petty jealousy kicks in, takes over. Other teams are constantly complaining to the league office about all the publicity and all the credit that Caitlin Clark gets. Even though she doesn't do much on social media, doesn't say much when she's interviewed, just says all the right things, nothing but cliches and platitudes, nothing but respect for all of the older stars in the league. Caitlin's actually pretty boring unless she's playing basketball. Yet this league office is obviously deathly afraid of an open player revolt. Caitlin Clark controls games with magical wow passes and jump shot logo threes. I'm talking about the female Steph logo threes. And yeah, fans and viewers can't get enough of Caitlyn and Angel pushing and shoving each other, really going at it in what has already become the ultimate WNBA rivalry. So come on, ladies. Quit complaining about Caitlyn Clark and just accept and embrace that she is the reason all of you ultimately will make far, far more money. So the refs are given the message. They're clearly afraid to protect Caitlyn Clark from the bully tactics and the excessive physicality inflicted on her. Heck, I don't know, maybe veteran refs are resentful of all the attention that Caitlyn Clark gets. I don't know. That's the way it looked on Saturday. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you, or letting defenders bite that hand. Who cares what color they are, as long as they're watching and buying tickets? Is it because she flashes a little attitude during games, a little arrogance, occasionally gets a little heated? What superstar doesn't? I mean, she was first team all WNBA as a rookie, and I won't be surprised if she wins MVP this season.